Today I'm going to share 10 secrets of Stoicism that will help you master your mind and achieve inner harmony. The first secret is accepting that some things are beyond our control. One of the key principles of Stoicism, spoken of by Zeno of Citius himself, the founder of this school, is to distinguish between what is in our power and what is beyond our control. The Stoics urge us to pay attention only to what we can control: our thoughts, actions, and reactions. Everything else, such as external circumstances, the actions of others, or even our health, lies beyond our power. Adopting this principle allows us to avoid useless anger and stress by focusing on what truly matters and affects our lives. This principle is supported by the experience of the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoics. In his meditations he wrote, "Devote all your energy to the present moment. What is not in your power, leave alone. Do not worry about it." He encourages us to focus on our actions and reactions rather than wasting energy on what we cannot change. The second secret is developing inner strength through overcoming adversity. The Stoics teach that our reactions to adversity and hardship determine our inner well-being. Life is full of surprises and challenges, and how we meet these events shapes our character and our relationship to the world. Stoicism encourages us not just to survive through difficult times, but to thrive through them, using them as opportunities for growth and self-improvement. The wisdom of the Stoics on this point is borne out by the life and philosophy of Emperor Nero. Although Nero was a controversial figure in Roman history, his Stoic teacher Seneca recognized his capacity for endurance and resilience in the face of hardship. Nero faced many challenges and crises during his reign, and he used the principles of Stoicism to remain resolute and determined even in the most difficult situations. So, the second secret of Stoicism is to see adversity as an opportunity for growth and development, rather than an obstacle to happiness and success. The third secret, practicing prudence. Stoicism calls for seeking truth and wisdom, and following the right way to live in accordance with these principles. This means developing in oneself the ability to discern between good and evil, right and wrong, just and unjust. Practicing prudence involves not only an intellectual understanding of ethical principles, but also putting them into practice in our daily lives through good actions, justice, and compassion for others. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus argued that prudence is distinguishing between what is in our power and what is not. This means that we should be conscious and responsible for our decisions and actions based on wisdom and justice, rather than emotional reactions or external circumstances. It is also important to note that practicing prudence requires constant learning and development. Stoics call for constant self-examination, study of philosophy, and fellowship with wise people in order to deepen one's understanding of moral principles and apply them to one's life. Thus, the third secret of Stoicism is to constantly strive to develop prudence and apply it to daily life in order to achieve happiness and harmony. The fourth secret, accepting the fluidity of life. Stoicism teaches us to accept the fluidity and instability of life as an integral part of it. This principle is based on the Panta Rhei idea that everything flows, which implies continuous movement and change in the world around us. Stoics argue that nature and life are inherently changeable, and attempts to hold or control them lead to suffering and dissatisfaction. One of the greatest Stoics, Heraclitus of Ephesus, expressed this idea by saying, "You cannot step into the same river twice, because the water in it is no longer the same, and you are no longer the same." This reminds us of the constant change of everything around us and in ourselves, and the importance of accepting that fact. Accepting the mutability of life allows us to let go of the fear and anxiety associated with inevitable change, and instead find peace and joy in the present moment. Stoics encourage us to accept our thoughts, emotions, and circumstances as they are, and turn our attention to what is in our power to change, our reactions and actions. Thus, the fourth secret of Stoicism is to accept the mutability of life and use it as a source of learning, growth, and transformation. The fifth secret: controlling your desires and passions. Stoicism instructs us on the importance of controlling our desires and passions. The basic idea is that our passions and desires can be a source of anxiety, unhappiness, and dissatisfaction if we allow them to control our lives. Stoics urge us to make conscious choices and to be moderate in satisfying our needs and desires. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It is not he who has much, but he who desires little who is rich." This reminds us that our happiness does not depend on the amount of material things we have, but on our attitude toward them and our ability to control our desires. An example of this principle can be seen in the life of the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. He strove for a simple life, eschewing luxury and excess, and favored modesty and self-control. His philosophy was based on the idea that true well-being is achieved not through the possession of material goods, but through the management of his thoughts and desires. Thus, the fifth secret of Stoicism is to consciously manage one's desires and passions in order to achieve inner harmony and happiness. The sixth secret: practicing the present moment and living in the here and now. The Stoics teach that the present moment is the only reality that matters and that we should be able to appreciate it. The practice of living in the here and now is to fully immerse ourselves in the present moment, giving up worrying about the past or the future. This allows us to find inner peace and awareness, and to enjoy life in its fullness. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "Tell yourself that you must live today." This reminds us of the importance of living each day to its fullest, without getting lost in thoughts of the past or future. An example of practicing present moment mindfulness is the life of the ancient Greek philosopher and emperor, Marcus Aurelius. He actively practiced mindfulness and living in the present moment, constantly reminding himself of the brevity of human life and the importance of appreciating each moment. Thus, the sixth secret of Stoicism is to practice living in the here and now, to consciously accept the present moment, and to find happiness in our daily actions and interactions. Eighth secret: recognizing the meaning of life in serving the common good. Stoics argue that the meaning of life is not only to achieve personal happiness, but also to serve society and the well-being of others. They encourage us to develop empathy, compassion, and sympathy for others, and to pursue causes that have a positive impact on the world at large. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The more often you do something for the common good, the happier you become." This reminds us of the importance of serving the community and doing things that benefit others. An example of practicing service to the common good is the life of the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. He not only ruled the empire, but also sought justice and the welfare of his subjects by making decisions that promoted social development and prosperity. Ninth secret: understanding willpower and self-discipline. Stoics teach that willpower and self-discipline are key qualities that help us achieve our goals, overcome obstacles, and live up to our ideals. Willpower allows us to overcome temptations, overcome laziness, and postpone instant gratification for the sake of long-term goals. One of the Stoics, Lucius Annaeus Seneca, wrote, "Where there is willpower, there is the way." This means that our ability to control our thoughts, emotions, and actions determines our path to happiness and success. An example of willpower and self-discipline can be found in the life of the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. In his meditations, he described his efforts to control his desires and strive for higher goals despite obstacles and temptations. 10th secret: accepting fate and necessity. The Stoics urge us to accept the inevitability and necessity of certain events in life. They argue that there are moments in life that are beyond our control and that we should accept them as they are instead of futilely resisting or fighting. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "Do not forget that your plans are only plans and life has its own plans for you." This reminds us of the importance of being flexible and open to the variability of life. An example of accepting fate is the life of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus. He was a slave in his youth, but despite this, he developed into a respected teacher and philosopher, helping others find meaning and purpose in their lives. 10th secret: accepting fate and necessity. The Stoics urge us to accept the inevitability and necessity of certain events in life. They argue that there are moments in life that are beyond our control and that we should accept them as they are, instead of futilely resisting or fighting. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "Do not forget that your plans are only plans, and life has its own plans for you." This reminds us of the importance of being flexible and open to the variability of life. An example of accepting fate is the life of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus. He was a slave in his youth, but despite this, he developed into a respected teacher and philosopher, helping others find meaning and purpose in their lives. These 10 secrets of Stoicism are not just abstract ideas, but guidelines for action that help us to master our minds and gain confidence, wisdom, and serenity in the face of all challenges and difficulties. Guiding stars in our quest for self-improvement, they remind us of the importance of self-knowledge, self-control, serving the common good, and embracing life in all its variability and unpredictability. May these secrets of Stoicism be not just words to us, but living principles that we apply in our daily lives, making our world a better and more harmonious place.